Hey everyone, it's Tom. I'm with Cash, also known as Eric. What's up, my man? How are you?
How's it going? It's going really good. I just woke up, so I got a little crusty eyes, but I've been looking forward to this. I really appreciate you bringing me on, man.
Absolutely.
I love you on Twitter, bro. Like, I wanted to start off by saying that um, there's like a lot of people that can legit make you like they're nice, and they can brighten up your day, and you're definitely one of them. But I think
Oh,
with you it comes off as real genuine, man, because it's just like very consistent in regards to the way that my
the way.
daughter's my daughter's busting in here. But yeah, you're consistent, man. Like, you're always being nice. Your humor, like, it's real unique. So I wanted to tell you that, bro. I wanted to start off by telling you that I appreciate always
Oh
being
wow.
nice to everyone, and you've always been super like welcoming and supportive with me. So I appreciate that, bro.
No, thank you very much. That means a lot. I can see the red coloring coming to my face as I'm blushing. I don't take compliments very well. Most people know that, but I do appreciate that. I try to just treat everyone equal. We're all equal, and you just try to be kind to everyone. So, now that sappy stuff's out of the way, let's talk some fun stuff. That was fun. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, for sure, for
Like
sure.
I said, I appreciate it. It's just hard for me to take a compliment. Especially when I'm not in the best headspace, and sometimes there's just nothing you can do.
How
Everything's
are
going
you
right.
doing, man? How are you doing?
I'm fine. Everything's nothing's bad. But if you don't have the right chemical balance in your brain, things could just be off and weird for no reason. Like I woke up fine, went to work, work was fine, and I'm excited tonight. Today was a good day. Tomorrow the same things could be happening and I could be like depressed or like super emo, so it's weird. But today, no, I love doing the Tom show because I love talking to my friends, because everyone's like so interesting. People have different backgrounds, they have different ways they started collecting, and I really enjoy getting to know the people that I tweet with. So and I appreciate you coming on. I think we were going to have you on a little bit ago, but we pushed it out. It was either your birthday or you had something going on. I couldn't remember
Yeah,
exactly.
it was my birthday last week,
Yeah,
so we pushed it out. Yeah.
yeah. Happy birthday, by the way.
Thanks. Yeah,
Looking
appreciate it.
good. So you must be young.
Yeah, well, I just hit the 30 club, so
Oh yeah, you're a child still. You might not feel like it, but you're still a child. How
it's
was 30 for you? Did turning 30 feel weird to you?
yeah, so like I've never really been the like type to celebrate my birthday. I will literally just like, any other day. I know,
Yep.
like, there's a lot of people that will like,
That's how I am. I'm just like, that's a day. I don't care.
and that's cool. I actually really I celebrate people who do that, like, because I think you should do that, right? Like, um where you really plan out your birthday and you gather all your friends, and you make a big celebration out of it. I think that's good and admirable. I just go about my day.
Yeah.
And
Same.
it's been like that for a few years, since I started having kids. I have a 2-year old, and then I just my baby boy, his name's Santos. He was just born January, so now I have two kids, and ever since I had kids, it's just it's been another day. But like, my wife, she makes it real memorable. She does
Yeah.
she I can't really explain how amazing it is, bro. Like,
Oh, you
it's
don't
like
have
the
to. I
best
know
birthdays
because,
because they're
yeah.
so simple. Like, it's just enjoying the time with my kids, making cakes, we make pizzas, and those memories are just like way better than when I was 21 at the club, like all that. It's
Yeah.
just it's way better. So I had a great time.
I think for me, I turned 30 and I was like, this is weird. Like I was a kid and I don't remember ever thinking I'd get to 30, even though I wasn't like a troubled youth or into trouble. You know what I mean? Like
Right, right.
I wasn't like reckless with my life. I was just a boring kid playing video games. But when I hit 30, I was like, man, this is weird. This is kind of strange. And I had a little bit of a trouble with it. But then, like when I turned 40, I'm like, this is fun. It's not bad at all. So,
Yeah, I
just a
mean,
reminder: if it's weird for you at 30, it's probably going to be fine. But some people are the other way. They're like, 30 was great, but then 40 was weird. And I was like, you're already old. What does it matter?
yeah, I feel like just like I started seeing myself age as soon as I had kids.
Yeah. So you
You
already.
know? Yeah, so I really feel that way. And I've been a homebody for a long time, even when I was single. Like I used to go to the gym all the time. Like I was there on New Year's Eve, on Christmas Day, like before family. So I've always just really been into self development. So I'm used to just the married life. I'm used to it, so it feels like just regular life
Feels.
for me. But the only thing is that it does give me a little bit of urgency to try to push for my goals and just kind of like um obviously you don't have all the time in the world, right? So just instead of pushing back, like, "Hey, I'll figure it out tomorrow," just like start doing one thing at like today, for example.
Mm,
My wife was like, I always have all these ideas, right? And my wife's like, just do it right now. Like, take out your phone and record it right now. Record the video right now. So I did. We are hiking, and then I took out the video and I made a 2 minute clip about the stock market, and then I just uploaded it on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. And that's kind of like just a big realization of hitting 30 for me, is like you just got to get things done, man. Like if you don't, next thing you know, you are going to be 40 and just starting out, which is fine too. Like you make it happen.
I'm attacked.
Like, yeah, I mean, it's like just do it, right? But then
Yeah.
like maybe you keep doing it and then you're 50 and it's like, oh, okay, now time's really catching up to you.
Yeah.
So you should have just started back then when you knew you should have done it. So that's
Yeah.
basically where my headspace is right now.
No, that's a great. My buddy Gerald, he's been on the show a couple times. He's a wrestling fan, and I love him. But he's like, man, I want to be like where you are, and like you're 10 years older than me. And I was like, dude, you have a 10-year head start. Don't try to be me in 10 years. Be you now, and get a jump start on all this, and be way better than I am now. Like I'm nothing. If I'm your hero, um, I could be your hero if like treating people nice is what you like. But if I'm your hero for being on YouTube, like, dude, no, like I'm not a good content creator. You could start now and be way ahead.
Yeah, it's time consuming. Like,
Yeah,
and I'm sure like the YouTube game. That's why a lot of people stop making content. And I mean, I stopped for a minute, and it's just like you edit the hell out of a video, and then it comes out so simple, and you're like, damn, how does everyone do it? Like, where it's like super high production
yeah,
and like cool ass effects, and so it can be a little bit of like demotivating, and you can just when you start to compare yourself to the other channels. But at the end of the day, if you just like keep pumping out the content like the way that you do, or you just
hmm
do the interviews, you're gonna get better. You're gonna get better, and eventually you'll get where you want to be. So at least like with mine, you know what I did is this year was like, all right, let's hit 1,000 subscribers. Like it's it's right there. I was at 940 for like literally a year, and I was like, why am I not making a push? Like, let's
yeah,
just get it done, right? So that I got it done, and then the second thing, well, the most important thing was putting out content. So I put out like, I think it was 6 videos in January. So now I need to match or beat that for February. So I'm behind now. So I need to do that. And again, like that's one thing I admire about you. And there's a lot of people like that will just pump out content and fuck the editing, bro. Like just
yeah.
do it. Just put it out there.
you
You know.
know, that's how I approach Twitter. Like when I have a good idea that I think is gonna be funny for a tweet, and I like work on it and I edit it and then I like make sure it's spelled correctly and I do all these things, and then when I tweet it and I get no responses, I'm like, this sucks, man. Like, why did I spend so much time on it? But then, like, when I just tweet something stupid right off the top of my head, and like 20 likes, and you're just like, the
Yeah.
more time I spend on stuff, the more disappointed I get. And this is the way, like if I had to edit these videos, like I couldn't do it because it's so time consuming to make it, cut everything down and re-edit. And I can edit some stuff. I'm not the best, but I'm not, I can do it. But it's just like the part of it that's like allows me to do it is like, okay, I have like an hour on Tuesday night, it's live, and then I'm just gonna upload it and that's it. I'm trying to be consistent, do my show, and just get. And it's mostly just for me to get out of my like funk. So I'm talking to my friends, I'm socializing, I'm having a great time twice a week, at least, and that's way more than I did before. Because like I'm homebody, I like to just kind of stay home and not do anything, and this is my way of like trying to open myself up to everyone else. But before we keep talking about like the goals and all that that we have, let's start at the beginning. How did you get into like the hobby, the collecting, and then we'll talk about like how you got into the YouTube and the other side.
Yeah, for sure. So on Twitter, all social media, my branding is Cash Cultura. So essentially, the idea behind that, I'll start there, just kind of
Yeah.
like an intro. Um, it's just, what I really wanted to do is to document my life behind some of the things that I feel are interesting or the value that I can bring to people. And it's, in regards to cash, it's like how to do arbitrage through sports cards. But probably the number one thing, which is not the thing that I talk about the most, it's the stock market, because I've been investing since I graduated high school, and I started with like one stock really. But I just like, I don't know what really hit it off, but I probably just the um desperation of it needing like money, and knowing always from when I was young, like stock market can make you rich. And I remember I bought a Southwest Airlines stock, and it was through TD Ameritrade. I started a brokerage account, all that, and then um, I couldn't even sell it just because, like, to sell it, it was like $12. You used to charge commission for each
Yep.
trade, right? So I let it sit, and then I accessed the account, and it appreciated, like it doubled and stuff, and it grew dividends. So I was like, cool. That's when, and then at that point, that's when I really started like diving in hard. So that's the whole objective behind the cash part of Cash Cultura. And Cultura is more, it's culture in Spanish.
Hmm.
And that right there is, I love traveling. I'm really proud of my heritage. I'm Mexican American, so both my parents, they're from Mexico. And um, I was born here, first generation. And uh, I believe that, my my country back in Mexico, where my parents are from, is very rich in culture. And I love
Where are they
exploring
from,
it.
if you don't mind?
Yeah, so my mom, she's from the state of Durango, and my dad is from the state of Chihuahua. I'm in El Paso, Texas, so it's a border town,
Mhm.
and right next to it is Mexico. So this is like 80% Hispanic where I live. There's about like 1 million people, and there's a lot of Hispanics. So it's crazy because, like, growing up, it was dangerous. And right next door, Juarez is like, right now it's not. I mean, it is like, if you're
Yeah.
comparing it to United States, but it used to be the murder capital of the world, like around 2008. So um like, we would never go over there, and I really never had a lot of interest in going over there. And then when I met my wife, she was like, a lot of people go and drink over there because it's so cheap,
Yeah.
and they have a lot of clubs and stuff. So she was like, let's go out. All right, cool. So we went, and it was fun. Like, and it wasn't dangerous at all. Like, we minded our own business, and it was cool. So we started going more. And even before that, I started traveling to Mexico, like to the big cities of Cancun, Mexico DF. And I started learning a lot about the culture, and I just fell completely in love with it. And that's really what the Cultura part is about. It's sharing some of the travels that we do, which, like, right now is probably, I'm working on our first big video. That's gonna be when we went to this. It's called Huatulco, Oaxaca, and it's a beach tourist like attraction. It's a lot smaller, and it it's very intimate in
Okay.
regards to like the amount of tourists that go there. So it's a really nice destination, very inexpensive. Um, so that's the video that I'm gonna work on. It's a lot of content, so it takes a lot of time
Oh yeah.
to edit because it's like a lot of B-roll and just like you know and what else in regards to Cultura, and just kind of like vlogish style stuff. um but that's basically the name of the brand. But it's me, and usually I say we because it's me and my wife. Like, she never wants to come out or anything, but she'll help me like all the time, whether it's recording or just listening to me and my ideas, bro. Like, that I'm sure that takes a lot of mental capacity, right?
It takes a lot of patience to put up with your husband's crazy ideas. My wife's the same way. She's like, okay, I'll film this silly thing you want to do, and then she'll start adding ideas. Like maybe we should try this, maybe we should try that, and then it's like this is really fun for me now. Like you're interested, babe. It's great, and then she'll be like, your stupid videos, and it's just like, yeah, I get it. They are, it's
Yeah,
so
for
it's
sure.
great when they get involved, because it's like it doubles the fun for me.
Yeah,
Like it's fun being silly, but when my wife is being silly with me, it's just like that much better. It's not even double. It's like, quadruple. So you're, the cash in the Cultura. Um, how did you get it? You did the stock thing. How did you get into like collectibles, like
yeah,
cards and all that?
yeah. So I mean, most of us, I think that every single person in the hobby started collecting rocks, probably, bro. Like, there's just that like little bug in us that you gotta just collect. And I've been, bro, like, since I was little, I used to like, I was like 3 years old. I go to a swap meet and I buy rocks, like, and then I graduated into Pokemon cards, right? And then after that, I graduated into sports cards, and then there was like a big gap where there was absolutely zero interest in it.
Hmm.
And then fast forward late February 2020, Kobe Bryant passed away,
Oh
and
yeah.
I was a big Kobe Bryant fan, like, so big that honestly I could. Once he retired, I didn't give a shit about basketball anymore. I just completely stopped watching it, and I would consider diehard. Like, I knew everything about the Lakers, and usually, like, most sports fanatics will know everything about their team, right?
Yeah.
And they'll continue to for the rest of their life. That's how I was. Once he retired, I kind of just like, eh. So anyway, he passed away, so it was devastating. Probably, I mean, I shed a few tears for sure. I don't remember the last time I cried before that.
Yeah.
It was tragic, and I started looking at memorabilia, like, hey, how can I get some memorabilia, that way, I can have this for the rest of my life, and it'll be a nice memory. And once I get I was looking for houses, and I was like, once I have my office, it'll be super cool to have like a badass memorabilia piece. So I started just researching and just like looking, and to be honest, I was just like not really getting anything that I liked. And I don't know how it just clicked. Like, what about his rookie card? I'm sure I read something, I bumped into a video. um so I started just, what are his rookie cards? And then boom, I just went down the sports card rabbit hole like crazy. And I was like, damn. So like, I can the some of these sports cards are worth money, and like just kind of going down that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh cool, well, I can get a Kobe Bryant card that's like worth money, but that I can keep forever. I'm like, hell yeah, let's do it. And I just, I started going down that. And I'm the type that will research for like years, even like, before even executing. And sometimes it's a bad trait because it's like analysis paralysis, where you're just over
Yeah.
analyzing. and
uh,
and then finally I knew which card I wanted to buy, and that was the 1996 Topps Kobe Bryant 138 rookie card, the base paper card. And I bought like 22 of those. I
no.
just spent just whatever money I could, get. And I kind of found a good price target. It was like more on the higher end, they were selling at that point anywhere between $40 to $75. So I was hitting them like at $50, and
Yeah.
it was a pretty good entry price. And I mean, I just remember those mail days were awesome, and that's when they like used to throw in. I mean, this is like super new, right? This is 2020. Like, I'm sure you, a bunch of people, like years before that, it was crazy, right? Like, but I used to get like lots of. They used to just throw them in for free, like other Kobe
Mhm.
rookies and stuff, and like inserts, and I'm sure they regretted that. Like if they look back, they're like, damn, I can't believe I threw in a showcase row one for free, or uh, a rookie insert for free. But
I'm
I
sure
just
some people do, but I think the majority probably don't. You know, like, hey, this card's at a good home. There's a lot of us.
That's cool. Yeah,
Our my buddy Che, Ian Sports Cards. I don't know if you know him. He has the little heart. He just popped in chat, said, "Hey Tom." He's a great guy. But that happened years ago, but not as much now. People are way cooler about that now, like you said. That they could just give the lots and throw in extras. Like that happened to me like once or twice previously to the last 20 years, or not 20 years, 10 years. But it's happening a lot more now, and it's nice to see. And I like I said, I don't think there is regret with that, because everyone knew Kobe. I'm the opposite of you. Like with Kobe, I hated him. I'm a Nuggets fan, and Kobe, I hate him. He always beats us, destroys us in the playoffs. Sad. But then towards the end of his career, then afterwards, you see like, okay, like, okay, he's finally going to be out of the league, but what an amazing player. Like, I'm lucky I got to watch him. No doubt about that. All the Kobe games I watched, I appreciate that. And then to see him like as a dad and, growing in that aspect of his life too, that was like so amazing. And it's like, okay, my hatred for Kobe's like completely gone. And I remember I was playing World of Warcraft, just screwing around, and someone was like, "Kobe's dead," and I in chat, and you're just like, "Those guys do that crap all the time. He's not
yeah.
dead." And then it
Joe
kept going,
Rogan,
and then you're like,
R.I.P.
"Oh
Joe
crap,
Rogan. The
yeah."
like in the comments, you always see the R.I.P. Joe Rogan. Like,
Yeah, you just see something stupid like that, and you're just like, okay, and then you look and you're like, holy crap, man. And I just remember being like, I was like sad. But then when I found out like there were kids there, then it was just like, the tears. Like I like Kobe, that hurt my heart. But he didn't get that long, but he had his time. But
yeah,
those little kids, man, you're just like, oh, this just
they're
kills
just
me.
getting started. Yeah.
So all right, sorry to interrupt. You're getting your Kobe's, you're buying the rookies.
Yeah, so
Um,
then boom, I do that, and then I buy tons of individual cards, like a shitload. Then after that, I go into getting a little bit of Shaq, a little bit of Allen Iverson, a little bit of Vince Carter, and then I go into, okay, well, like I love these players. I love Kobe, like that's
yeah,
at the top of my just, I would even put role models like in life, and um so then I'm like, well, I like these other players, but like who's at that level? And then I thought of, oh, well, I used to love Eddie Guerrero, the WWF, and I
oh
was
man, me
crazy into
too.
it. Like,
Oh, he was one of my favorites. The Latin Heat, and oh god, I
yeah,
loved him so
Latino hit,
much.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it and it's crazy because it's like he's from El Paso, Texas, so
Mhm.
that's what really like the connection was there. And it's like when I must have been, I don't even know, like I was a kid, right? But I
Yeah.
used to love The Rock. I used to love Stone Cold Steve Austin. It was the Attitude Era, so
Yeah.
I Jeff
I loved
Hardy, like
it. Jeff
the
Hardy.
Dudley Boys.
Oh
Fuck,
man, you're
I
bringing
can
me
go on and on.
so much happiness right now just hearing all those names. Like, yes.
I used to hate
Oh,
Triple H.
I love
Who else?
Triple H
I
because he
used
was
to
just the
hate
worst.
Edge, Christian and Edge. Like, oh, I hated
Yeah.
those guys. I used to love when the Hardy Boys used to beat their asses. I
Yes.
used to
Yeah.
love the Too Cool with Rikishi.
Rikishi.
Fuck, man.
Yes.
I used to do the worm. I can still do it, bro. Like,
I can't do the
if
worm,
you want
but
me to do it, I'll do it real quick.
no,
But
no, it's all
I'm just
right,
kidding.
man.
Uh, so
Oh,
yeah, I used to do all that, and then Eddie Guerrero started to gain a little bit of notoriety, and then you saw his rise, intercontinental champion, tag team champion. you name it, and boom, he becomes heavyweight champion, world champion of the world. And I never used to, so I didn't have cable or none of that shit. Like I've never, WrestleMania or any of those events. Like, I think SmackDown was a free one, so like
Yeah.
whatever they showed, it was like, dope. And there was a moment where a Spanish channel used to show Raw, like, and it was like,
Oh, that's cool.
it
Yeah.
was weird. It was like super staticky, like, but I was like glued, bro. I was like, oh my god, like they're showing it. So I used to, I watched his career, and then like when he passed, it was just like a shock to me. I was a kid, and luckily I did see him one time. It was like the one thing that my mom saved up, and she knew that they were coming, and I was like crazy wrestling fan, and she took us. So I have that memory, and I saw him live, and that was awesome. So I was like, cool, like let's start collecting him. And the wrestling cards were a little bit harder to hit because there wasn't a lot of information, like Beckett, the
They're weird. Wrestling cards, people like complain about soccer, like, oh, European stickers, this is weird. Like, that's nothing like wrestling cards. Wrestling cards are like, we cut this out of a magazine from Japan and it's Edge's first rookie card. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to find. You have to have buddies. Like, I'm in this wrestling chat group, and you could be like, hey, what's like Edge's true rookie? And they'll be like, oh yeah, it's this baseball magazine card with him and
yeah.
Christian and all this stuff. And you have to have those people with wrestling, or
What
otherwise you're
now that
screwed.
information is it's really out there, but I think like even when the sports card boom happened, like there wasn't a lot of info on the wrestling. So like I had no idea that he was. So there's what is it called, the Bandai wrestling in Japan? It's something like
Yeah,
that, the name, right? So
they have all
um
kinds of stuff over there. New Japan Pro Wrestling and whatever it was back then. And yeah, he was in
yeah.
WCW for a while too, right?
Yes, yeah. So like, when I thought of it, I was like, well, WCW is probably his rookie card. So I got a bunch of those, and then I couldn't find anything. I did practical things, like I was like 1995 Eddy Guerrero, 1994, 1993, 1992, and then whatever the furthest one out was, like, oh, this is probably his rookie card. I bought a bunch of those. They didn't really, they were cool, and I kept some obviously, but they didn't end up being like the holy grail rookie card. And then I kept doing research. I found one where he was in Japan, and I watched this document. I watched like this. I remember it was like, fuck, bro. I used to like stay up. Everyone can relate. Like I used to be on eBay like till 4 in the morning, bro. Just looking like, oh shit, right? So then as I was doing that, I was like, might as well put a documentary or something cool. I started watching a documentary on Eddy Guerrero's life, but like a super fan that did this, and
Yeah.
they were just pumping out like crazy facts, and I was like, what? So then that started giving me a little bit more knowledge, and I was like looking up, when he was in wrestling in Mexico, and then when he started wrestling in Japan, and then that's when I found the Black Tiger 2 card. And essentially the Bandai, that wrestling federation, they one of their most prominent wrestlers is the Black Tiger, the one, and they brought the Black Tiger back, and that was Eddy Guerrero, and he was Black Tiger too. So I have that one. Let me grab it real
That's
quick.
awesome. Like
Yeah.
I really don't know the wrestling cards because they're crazy. Like, Chris Jericho, his rookie card is like a card from Mexico when he was down there.
Yeah, it's the same. Oh, is it a Mexico one?
I think so. He's like Leon the Lionheart or something.
Lionheart. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so let me do this.
And my buddy Gerald, who I mentioned earlier, he's in
What's
the
up,
chat.
Gerald?
Yeah, he's one of the big wrestling guys
Oh,
I know. Yeah, he said
I
he was
saw this
3 feet from Guerrero at ringside at SmackDown when he was a kid.
Oh, that
So
was so sick, man.
I don't know
Hey,
if I
Gerald.
saw Eddie. I went to a Nitro when he was in WCW, and then I went to two I went to a Raw and I went to a SmackDown when he was in the WWF. Man, that's a great looking card.
Yeah, so this is
I
one
love
of the.
CSG too. Yeah, I know people hate on their slabs and their labels, but
I
I just
mean,
think they're beautiful.
so like what I did, and we'll get into that right now. But like I really wanted to just get them encapsulated, and I missed the train on PSA. Like I'm telling you, it was analysis paralysis because I was in talks with a few people that do the subgrading and stuff, and then it was actually the one of the head appraisers for PSA. I was on a clubhouse group thing,
Yeah.
and he was on there, and then I just DM'd him. He was like, "Yeah, you can send them to me. I do subs." So then we're emailing, and then the next day he's like, "Yo, sorry, they prices went up." And then he sent me the new prices. I was like, "What the fuck?" I was like, "I am not gonna pay that much." So then next best thing, CSG. I was like, I think it was like $18 because I hit it like at the perfect time, So and I was like, I just really want these encapsulated. Like at first, I didn't
Yeah.
want to
What
grade
does
at
the
all.
card say? Sorry. Gerald was
Hold,
asking if it
hold
was
on,
the
let me
1995 BBM.
hold
I
on.
don't know what that.
All right, so this is the 1998. It's not the 1995. So I almost hit it. Like I thought that I had the rookie card once I found this one. This is like literally the only one that I found on eBay. But it's a 1998 Bandai New Japan Pro Wrestling number 68 Black Tiger 2.
Oh, okay. That's still an amazing card.
Yeah, so I think he's doing the frog splash right there too.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
Oh,
this is the best one. I also Scott Pike, Cooper's dad. He sent me a one of one for I think my birthday last year of Eddy Guerrero. So that's my other like super awesome Eddy Guerrero card that I
that's
have.
awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, I started buying Eddy Guerrero, and I thought I hit the rookie card, and like honestly at this point I don't give a shit. Like it's a super cool card.
It's an amazing card. I remember AEW's last pay per view was like Eddie Guerrero's, birthday or the day or whatever, and everyone was doing a frog splash from like the top of the turnbuckle on their opponents, and it was just kind of like awesome to see. Like Jericho hit one, and then like CM Punk hit one, and like everybody, like every match had a frog splash, and it was
That
just
was this year,
yeah, well, it was last year. It was like
last
their
year.
pay per view in shoot, I can't remember whatever the last one was, the big one that they had. But yeah, it was. I think it was Eddie's birthday or something, and then yeah, everyone was doing it as tribute to him, and like tear, like I
It's
loved Eddie.
crazy, man,
It's so
because
great.
like to be real, he didn't get a lot of love once he like of course like it's a shock he passed away, and then
Hmm.
it's kind of like people just really forgot, right? And in regards to the goats, like he was never ever really mentioned, but he's a fucking technician goat, like a real technician. Him and
Yeah,
Chris Benoit, they were
yeah.
like legit
I loved Chris
wrestlers.
Benoit. Oh man, like that was
Yeah, that
just the
was crazy.
worst. Oh man,
Yeah,
like because yeah, they were like technical and
and
brilliant
Dan,
and just
what's his name?
athletic.
Malenko, Dan Malenko, or
Dean Malenko,
Dean
yeah,
Malenko.
he
Them
was a good.
like they were, yeah, they were badass technicians, right? So it's like, and then you add the entertainment aspect of it, and he had it. Like Eddie Guerrero, he just had that like unique character that no one
That
can
charisma,
duplicate,
man.
right? Like no one can really ever duplicate. Like you can have Latinos in there, like let's say Rey Mysterio or whoever you want.
I liked Ray
I
back
love
then. I haven't
I
watched him
love
in a
him.
while, but
Oh yeah, I used to love him too.
yeah,
But it's just like what he had was special, and then now I feel like there's been a lot of Twitter conversations last year. I think like, yo, is he one of the greatest ever? Blah blah blah. Like, and it just kind of like you heard him get his respect, and that felt real good.
yeah. He one of the more entertaining ones, right there towards like the end of the Attitude Era and a little bit after. I loved watching Eddie. The whole Eddie and China stuff was hilarious to me. Then you add like that, him being a funny character, entertaining, and then to go out there in the ring and be even better in the ring. I mean, even my mom loved Eddie. You know, she was an Undertaker guy, really.
Oh, I
But
love the Undertaker. And
yeah,
Kane, bro, like I used to love that entrance.
yeah,
Fuck, it
oh,
was
it's
so
so cool.
legendary. Gerald, he says, "Hey Eric, honestly, the fact it's Bandai, I'd have to look at it, but that may be a card from an action figure actually, which is really cool. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks
Yeah,
for the
those
facts,
action
man.
figure cards are. I think they grade. They're harder to grade, and if yours was a 9.5 from CSG, I mean that's amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's what I'm saying. Like CSG grades so hard, man. And I feel like once they have more volume, they start grading even harder. Like just all the companies do.
yeah,
Uh,
it's crazy, but those are amazing cards. What are you collecting now? What are you kind of focusing on now? Are you back into the Pokemon? Are you
so
still searching for Eddies, or have you kind of moved on to different things?
yeah, right now I'm not really doing much to be honest. I really I'm kind of just like really looking at the prices, but of the 1996 the Kobe Bryant rookie 138, but I'm looking at the refractors, and
Ooh,
I'm looking
yeah,
at very low grade refractors. And you used to be able to see a few on eBay, but now they're just like not available. So like
yeah,
my thing there is like I'll just I'll crack the case. I'll put it in a, I'll I'll either resubmit and just authenticate. I don't know whatever like or
yeah,
just leave it as is. But I just want that card, and and it's hard to really keep up with what the real value is because there's not a lot of sales. But I am looking for a low grade Kobe Bryant 1996 refractor. So that's really what I want. I want to kind of upgrade, and that's really it. Like so, basically, what um, I was more into wax for a while. Like I was hunting like crazy. Like I mean, I think everyone was right. Like
yeah.
we used to all go to
Chase that
Target,
rush.
and it was awesome, bro. It was so awesome. So it's crazy. I don't know. Like I mean, so the way that I kind of got started with the hobby was I started. There was this Walmart, and it was a gem. Like that place was always slam packed with just wax, bro. Like, and and I was new, so I didn't really know, and I'm not really into baseball that much, so I didn't really know which ones were the highly sought after,
Yeah,
you know. But they had like a lot of 2018 tops update and things like that. So I offered, bro. I just started offering like, hey, if anyone wants anything at cost, I will send it to you. And some people took me up on it. And I remember the first guy, what's his name? I still have him on Twitter, but he thought I was trying to scam him. Like, and I was like, bro, if you don't want this at cost, like, I don't care, bro. Like, honesty. But he was
yeah,
like, he was like all FaceTiming me. He was like making sure I was legit. He's like, send me a picture of your ID, and bro, I did it. I did everything he asked me to do, and
yeah,
literally to do him a favor. But I was like, I just really wanted to like integrate myself into the community, and I started doing that. And like another one, Joe Poe, and I started just sending at cost whatever they wanted. I would just take pictures of the aisle. Yo, what do you want? Boom, I'll send it to you at cost. So then I started getting more product, and then I think that's when 2020 Bowman hit paper, and I got a shitload of them, and then I just did it all at cost. Again, I had like the first of like Robin Hood sales, what I would call them,
hmm,
and then after that, it started getting a little bit harder, but I was able to get a lot. And then at that point, I switched it up a little bit. I did like this thing where I added like a dollar tip to the difference, and it was just like $1.50, the difference was really small. It was actually a percentage. Me and my wife did like a spreadsheet and just kind of calculated what would be like kind of still relatively like at cost, and but make up for because I used to go all over town, right?
yeah. You got to pay
Like
for your gas and your
yeah, I gotta pay
time
for
and
my
all
gas,
that.
all
Yeah,
that. So it was like $1 difference, and then boom, it was just started hitting off, and it was crazy because like even though it was just like $1.50, because of the volume that I would do, I would end up making like $100 at the end of the night. It
dang.
was a lot of work because I had
Yeah,
to do a lot of shipments, And that's really how I got started. I started doing a lot of those, and then it started getting a little tiring because it was just impossible to hit. And that's when I started running into like the MJ Holdings issues, like where the vendors were being shady, and I was like catching them, and then so I started making videos on that, and
Mm-hmm.
then after a while, it was just like literally impossible to hit. So I just stopped. And then I started. I had some wax saved, um, and I started getting that itch, bro. Like I would be
Yeah.
working, and it was just like fuck. It was so hard. I would be like,
That's so bad.
and the next thing you know, I'm fucking ripping them, bro, like in the middle of work and shit. And then I go and I'm like, I gotta stop. So I go and I tell I snitch on myself. I go and I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, I ripped that wax that I was saving. And then she's like, well, you need to put it over here so you don't rip it anymore. I'm like, all right, I'm not gonna do it anymore. And then next thing you know, the next day I'm doing the same damn thing, bro. And then it sucks because like when you don't hit anything and you're just like fuck, you get even more sad.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah,
So
everybody gets that. Even if you're like a single collector, like I was just buying my cards off eBay, you still want to open something because there's that rush, the
yeah,
thrill, the gamble, the feed your need, and everyone likes that. I think most everyone likes that. I'm sure there's people out there that can't stand it, just want the sure thing. But it's like it's fun, and it just takes you back to like your childhood. For me, anyways,
yeah.
just opening up packs and feeling
And a
like
lot of
a
us we're like gamblers, like
kid.
if
Degenerates for
if
sure.
degenerates, bro. Like we don't want to admit it, but like it happens with me in the stock market all the time, bro. Like I'll YOLO into a stock, like no fucks given, and the next thing you know, I'm like, fuck, why did I buy this? And then I get scared and I'll sell it like in 2 days, like at a $5 loss. But I'm like, fuck it, like it's already going down. So and then also like there's a so like to get a little bit deep on this one. So I stopped drinking when I was 21, right? I stopped drinking. My anniversary is coming up in June, and it's going to be 9 years. And I started noticing a lot of similarities in regards to like the urge to want to like do something that I had already set a boundary for me not to do, right? So if I set the boundary, yo, you're not gonna rip this because like you want to save this for a year or whatever because you want to sell it in a year, whatever I wanted to
Mhm.
do. And then I started just like going in, or I was gonna have a Robinhood sale. I remember I got a lot of Donruss, and I just started ripping fat packs. Like I couldn't stop, and I was like, fuck. So it was just kind of a lot of the same character defects that I found when I decided to stop drinking, right? So um, that's kind of one of the things for me that why I also was okay with not ripping, or like just kind of like just stepping back and observing sports cards, but not like being part of like always going to try and get some wax and buying all these cards. I'm just like, you're gonna focus on one thing and one thing only, and it's like, if you want the refractor, then just observe, look at prices, when is a good time to execute, find the card and buy it,
Yeah.
right? So that's basically where I'm at. The last thing that I ripped was Flux, and it was just because it was available. Someone put a link on Twitter. I hit it, and it was available. I think I mean it's easier to hit online now. And my
Yeah, it
son was
is.
born, so I was like, let's just rip this. Like we made a video together, and that was super cool. But I don't really plan on buying.
This is what I just ripped
What the
last.
fuck? LOL.
LOL cards. They got some like shiny stuff in here, man. And I'm seeing some cards
Oh, that's
listed for
cool.
like 20 to $50, and I'm like,
Oh,
that
nice.
can't be right. But my nieces were obsessed with LOL dolls. My brother and I are trying to get his girls into collecting cards, so I bought them each a
Oh,
pack.
that's cool, man.
Um,
That's awesome.
and so they could open and put in their little binder that I made them last year. But Yeah, LOL is the last thing I ripped, but you know what? It hit the it hit the need. You know, it's like I'm
Hell
opening a
yeah.
pack. There's some shiny, sparkly stuff. Like
Hey,
Tom's happy.
you tell them, hey, I bought you some cards, but can I rip them for you?
Yeah. I made a TikTok video where I did the helium voice and said the names of the cards, and my brother said they loved it. They're like, he's like, they love the voice the best. And I'm
Oh,
like,
that's cool. What's your
eh.
TikTok? I just started post like literally 2 days ago. I just started posting on there.
My first one, I think it's Tom Willis 3778, 3778, Tom Willis.
Okay,
Um,
I'll follow you on there.
I'm not real sure, but yeah, I don't know TikTok. I have boxes from my dad. He, 4 1992 boxes. It's like Triple Play, Donruss, Leaf, and Upper Deck. And I want to do like a pack of a day TikTok, where I'm like, open one pack,
That's awesome.
run the names down. But really, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the whole box, just film it one pack at a time, and then every day upload the video, because I don't want to actually sit down and open a pack a day, really. I kind of want to just, get the work
Is
on the
that
content later.
how
So,
did you start collecting?
my dad, it was like 1987, 88. We always kind of watched baseball. We always just watched sports in general. But Jose Canseco was going for the 40-40 club. And the A's, the Bash brothers were huge, making lots of news. My dad got a Jose Canseco rookie card before they really popped off. And then I wanted one. And then it was just, I got like the 88 top set for my 10th birthday, and, cards, we just collected as a whole family. My mom had sets. My little brother had sets. My dad and I collected them. He had a convenience store, and, he was buying, boxes of cards to sell out of the convenience store. And, we
Oh
just kind of
wow.
kept it going for a while.
That's when they were like they
It's
were
junk
everywhere.
wax.
Yeah, they were everywhere, right? Like the junk wax, like
Yeah.
literally whatever store you can think of, they were there.
Yeah, yeah, you could walk into anything and they would have like upper deck cards. But then, like, I took a long time off. I kind of switched to football and basketball a little bit. I'm disappointed because I had some Jordans and some like Shaq rookies and stuff. And they're gone. But then, like, my brother, he got back into collecting like late 2000s and got me back in 2011. And I've been collecting since then. I'll buy a couple packs here or there. We used to split boxes when boxes were like $100, but now that they're out there, we just kind of like hope we stumble on blasters every now and then. So, but yeah, that's just kind of how it was. Like, it's a family affair, and I took a break, and family brought me back into it. I'm not that into collecting or going as crazy as I am now, as much as I am just like you said, watching the hobby. You're watching for like your chance to buy your Grail card, and I'm watching just to try to understand and get to learn more about people, and
That's
doing
cool.
this show. This is what's fun for
Yeah.
me.
So to tell me about that, like what are some of your goals in regards to that? Like what are you trying to achieve like by observing like people and stuff like that?
I want to know how to manipulate them, so I could be rich and not have to
That's
do
funny.
real work anymore. No, I just want to know, like, how to help people, how to listen better. Like, character flaws that I have are, as a guy, I'm a terrible listener, apparently. So I want to learn how to listen better and take that and apply it to real life situations and be more observant in others, and not just, like, Tom this, Tom that, Tom whatever. I'm down, I'm that. Someone posts something, and then, like, oh, I'm sick too, and people do that. It drives me nuts. And I was like, I'm kind of one of those, but like, I need to step back and learn how to be a human, I guess, and socialize better and not be like a selfish jerk. And that's kind of my goal. My goal for this show, like I said, is to fight my depression and get me up, get me doing something, get me something consistent to do. But also, like, share the people that I love, and like, and, respect, like, you're awesome. Um, and I'm glad that, you came back and you approached me and you wanted to come back on or come on the show, because, like, this is, listening to you talk has been fascinating, like, I haven't talked a whole lot, I do like this, I go on like a little rant, but I'm just like so interested in what you have to say, because you're like hitting all the right spots for me. You know, you're like Kobe Bryant,
Yeah.
and then wrestling, and then like my eyes are lighting up. You can't see it in my glasses, but I'm just like, yes, this is
For
amazing.
sure, for sure.
So that's just kind of it. And then like if I'm
Like,
sharing what I love and the people I love, if you got like another follow or someone just says, "Hey, I know that guy, he's awesome," and they like follow you on YouTube or something, then for me that makes me so happy. Like I dude, I'm like my family, we're just like a bunch of losers, like not like losers, but like, the bad luck, happy go lucky losers, like whatever, and it's nice to see other people win, and I want to celebrate that, like if when you get your Kobe refractor, I want to know because I'm going to just scream and jump and be so happy for you. And
that's nice, man.
that's what I want. But eventually I would like to get to the point where like, okay, I do have ad revenue, even if it's tiny, but at least it could pay for like the StreamYard subscription or pay for like a ring light. I'm using my wife's now, but she's gonna need that eventually. So, I don't want to make I'm not trying to be like rich, but I want like this to kind of be self-sustaining eventually, and then after that, another goal would be like offset, like to where I wouldn't have to DoorDash like on the weekends, because I do my normal job and I just DoorDash, to help pay some of the bills. My wife's disabled, she gets a tiny bit from the government every month, but to really, it's nothing, it's not even
Yeah.
like, it's like two
Oh
thirds of
yeah.
one of my checks. You know
I
what I
could
mean?
imagine like both my parents are disabled, so I understand like
Yeah.
it's yeah, it's tough.
So if I could find something I like in the hobby that can offset like the extra 200-300 bucks I need a week to where I don't have to DoorDash, that's my ultimate goal.
Hell yeah,
Like
man. That's
it's
dope. I
not
love
like
that.
trying
I
to
love
be
that.
like all in the hobby and my hobby is my career. It's like, no, I want to do a second job that I like and not have to do something that is like dangerous or me being out there, or like my back is, I'm getting old, I'm 43, I'm, that's this far away, and I don't want to do stuff that just makes me miserable. So that's
Yeah.
my ultimate goals, and I'm far away from that. So I don't even, like you have those goals and I'm just taking baby steps, like right now it's just consistency. Keep trying to do a show twice a week, Tom, and just be consistent. And that's where I'm starting, like let's
Yeah.
build a consistency. People know when they can go see the replays. Now, those other goals, those are far away, because you need like 1,000 subscribers. I think I have like 120 or something, and it doesn't bother me. But I am working on trying to get those numbers up and trying to get things, just like slowly, organically. I'm not going to
Yeah.
do fundraiser. I do have a giveaway going on actually, but it's like I need 60 Twitch followers, and it's like a
Yeah.
mosaic blaster and some NFTs that revolve around the Tom Show, and it's like I have 12 prizes and like 6 legit entries, It's just like I know NFTs
Yeah.
aren't for everybody, but man, come on. Like, you can at least win a blaster of mosaic basketball.
Oh, you
So
have that going on right now?
yeah, it's my pinned tweet. It's been going on since last month.
Let me check it out, bro.
What about
Oh
you?
yeah, yeah, I see it. Okay, cool. Let me
What
retweet
about
that
your
here.
goals? You got to get your 1,000 followers because you're right there. How's that
Yeah.
going?
So, well,
Because you did a
before.
giveaway, and I won second prize. I won some vintage Beckett's, which are freaking
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah. That's. I'm glad you like them.
Oh yeah,
So, well, just to kind of go back a few things. I like what you said, man. Just I mean, just 20 more reasons why people should love you, bro. Like, like everything that you said on your goals, like your humility, just your, and you could tell like you're just enjoying the process, which is, it's a cliche thing everyone hears, like the process is like the thing that you enjoy about like reaching
yeah,
a goal. Once you reach the goal, it's just kind of like whatever. And it seems like you're really enjoying it. So, shout out to you, man. I'm here to enjoy watching the journey and help however I can help. I just wanted to
yeah,
say that. As far as my goals, um, I just putting out more content. Like I can overanalyze, bro, and I can do this fucking badass strategy on how I'm gonna do this and that, blah blah blah. And I do it all the time. Like, trust me, my wife is super tired of hearing this shit, and like so much that again yesterday, she was like, just take out your phone and record it, and I was like, boom, there you go. All I
Yeah.
gotta do is just do it. So it's just putting out more content in regards to this. This is basically my life goal right here. I would love to document a lot of my life so my kids can know truly who I was in case something happens to me,
Mm-hmm.
or like, let's say that we live a beautiful life, like until I'm 100 years old. Cool. Like, well, I would love for their children's children to know who I was, and how, the values that our family had, and what we
And
cultivated as a family,
and your
and
culture, man. Like it's right there in
culture,
the
all
name.
that.
Like this is what our family is, you know, and I think that's amazing. Like I love it. Um, and you're right, you know, like my buddy Gerald, he's right there in the chat, you know. He's the analysis by paralysis guy. He's been on my show twice, and I told him last time, you know, we talked for like 3 hours. I was like, hey man, I want you back on the show, but you need to create some content so we can hype you up. Like you got to create content before you can come back on my show. And you know, he's just paralyzed by that. You know, he's like, I can't think of the right thing to do, or I can't do this. And I'm like, man, just pull out your phone and talk about the Undertaker for 5 minutes and put it on YouTube. You know, like people don't think that's content, but that's content because then you do one video and then another video and then another video, and then you get on a schedule. You know, like I, you know, Tuesdays, Thursdays. I'm trying. I haven't been the best. You know, I've had things happen or been on other shows or whatever to where I'm not always doing that, but like get your schedule to where like, okay, these are my content days and I'll do my content. And even as silly as that is, if you're just doing it, you're doing it. You know what I mean? You're a content creator. You don't have
Yeah.
to be good. I'm not good. But you know, you're just doing it. And that's what's like
Yeah, and
that's
the
what I try
one
to tell
thing,
my wife, you know, like
the one thing you'll notice is like the interest is not always gonna stay there. Like, you gotta
mm,
really capitalize on it. Like, so I started off pretty. I think it was like like in summer 2020, right? And it was going well. Like, I think everything, engagement, everything was just like super organic. Well, like, and again, it's kind of one of those things, like you do something good, so like it'll just come back to you. Like, I was doing the Robinhood sales, people love that, so it just reciprocated in a way. And then started having issues, like my brother started having some health issues, and I decided to step away. And I just, like, it was taking a lot of mental capacity from what I could do, and I was like sleeping a lot. And it was a tough
I
year.
feel
Like,
that,
he
man.
had a he had
Yeah.
a such a tough year, bro. Like, I have a video on it of his story. And like, so he has brain tumors. And they came back. And it was just like he was in the hospital all fucking year. And like, so it's just an incredible story. Like, his brain tumor is gone, bro, like
Oh,
literally.
good.
Like
Sorry.
that shit is
Like,
gone, bro. Like,
uh,
what the fuck? Like, it was just like, when he called me to tell me the news, and I knew like this could potentially happen, that
yeah.
it can calcificate. And he was like, and I wasn't really like, I was just like, let's just wait, like whatever happens. And he calls me crying, saying like, hey, it's gone. And it's just like, fuck, man. It was such a crazy year for that, miracle to happen at the end. And yeah, so I stepped away for that whole year, obviously, and it's worth it, like just being there for my
Yeah.
family, and all that. And but the interest goes away, bro. Like, you put out videos, you do your thing, and then you just kind of see the interest go away slowly, and it's just part of it.
Yeah.
And it all comes down to, if you're gonna put out content, you just have to do it so consistently, because if not, people will just forget and move on. You know,
Yeah. And
and
it's literally like you'll see big YouTubers like, you know, PewDiePie and all those guys. They're like, if I take 2 days off in a row, I lose like 10% of my subs, you know?
that's
Um,
crazy.
a streamer I watched, Grand Pooh Bear, he does like Mario speed runs. He was like, I was up to, I think he had something crazy, like, I don't know, like 6,000 followers. He took a week vacation and then the next month he was struggling to get back to 3,000 subscribers. Like
Dang.
that's how insane this content creation thing is. And that's why, like I say, you got to be careful. That's why you can't be like, I'm going to put out a video every day, because people will expect that every day. And when you drop off, you could say like, "Hey, I need a mental health day," or "This is going on," and they'll be like, "Yeah, I understand." But then you do it again, and they're like, "I'm watching this guy open cards. I'm watching this guy
Yeah.
play video games," and it's like insane. So
Yeah.
you just have to do your schedule and but be consistent to that. And yeah, 2
Yeah.
days. That's just two small days for me. I can handle that most of the time. But
Yeah, and then ultimately it's like about your, just pushing through, bro. Like,
Mhm.
it's hard. It's very hard for other people. Like my sister, she also like has depression and stuff,
Yeah.
and I know how difficult it can be from living with her all my life and stuff, and know that it's not that easy to say push through, right? But if you are able to find refuge in whatever you're doing, like the way that you do,
Mhm.
then you'll be able to continue it and be consistent. And then hopefully it'll help improve your situation, mentally a little bit, or help provide like at least a little bit of relief for that hour and stuff.
Yep.
And ultimately it's a win-win situation. So and that's kind of what I learned, right? Like it was tough for me, and I actually had to even take some time away from work. I went to the doctor. They're like, "Oh, you have, depression, blah blah blah," and you took some time off of work. It was just to, gather myself and yeah, I mean, if I could just, I think about like, what would I tell my daughter, my son to do? And it would be like to do that, find refuge and keep doing it, because it's something you set yourself out to do, and it's gonna reap benefits in one way or another.
Yeah.
So I would do that, but ultimately, I'm happy it went the way that it did. I'm back. I'm gonna make a big push this year to just pump out content. Not really make it like a goal to be like, the first goal was to be 1,000 subscribers, just because like I do want to be monetized and see what that's like, and figure
Yeah,
that whole
you
thing
want to
out.
drink that Coca Cola and get rid of that the store
That itch,
brand.
yeah, like
Like I'm tired of these Fruitios. I want to eat Fruit Loops for once. So let me get that ad revenue money.
bro, it's like you don't make it anything, bro.
I know it's you
Yeah,
got to have
it's nothing.
so many followers before you start actually making something that's like
It's literally like two
substantial.
dollars, bro,
Yeah.
for everything.
It's insane.
But
You have to have like I think it was like millions. Like you have to have like a
yeah, yeah,
million
you have
plus
to have
followers before you see it
million
get.
dollar. I mean, I'm sorry, million view videos, like
Yeah.
for it to really make a difference. But I did want to hit that threshold so I can get familiar with how ads work,
Hmm.
and that's been real like it's just good to know, like a good skill to have, like to really know about like Google Ads and things like that. So that's been helpful. But at this point, it's just putting out content. That's really it. Just get out of my head and just do it. And that's really the only goal. The goal isn't like, oh, I want to reach 5,000 or this or that. It's just like literally just put out the videos, and that's it.
Yeah, it's kind of how I am. Like we have the same goal. Like let's get to my content creation and let's stick with that and just see how that goes. And and when you were saying push through, I don't like to think of it as like a mental health push through. It's more like an exercise push through. Like you're doing great. You're gaining muscle. You're getting trim. Then you hit that plateau, and everybody that's ever worked out or tried to lose weight knows what that plateau is. That's what you need to push through, and then
Yep.
you'll feel better. If you have mental health, you need to find a way to, and that's what you mentioned, that like this is a safe place for me, my mental health. So my content creation and my mental health, it's they go together. So that's a good thing for me. This is a safe thing for me. If it's not for you, like you need to find someone to talk to get that out.
Yep.
But if it's like just the physical aspect, like, oh, I'm not getting the results I want, or I'm getting like 12 views on my videos, that's the physical. Like you just got to keep going, man. You keep putting that content out. You're gonna hit the right people eventually. You're gonna, they're gonna watch all your old videos, and it's gonna be amazing. And even if, and that's also it. Like I was talking with one of my buddies. I can't remember who it was, and he was just like, "Would it be great when we look back on this like 10 years from now if we're all still in the hobby and we could be like, look how we were back then. Like
Yeah.
how cute and silly and." Yeah, my buddy Bruce Fiend here, and he's one of my gamer
Yes, sir.
buddies. Loved him, known him for like 20 years almost. He made like Warhammer videos and video and the little figures. He record the little recaps of that, and I used to watch him. I knew nothing about it, but I love him, and that was fascinating to me. And yeah, just you just got to make content because you want to make content.
Yeah.
If you're trying to like get rich, and that's the 2020 bug. People got back into cards because they were amazing and they're popping off and nostalgia. And then they see all the money and they're like, I could do this for a living. And
Yeah.
it's like, no, man, like
Yeah, and then
people
you realize
can,
that markets go down, and then like
yes.
with sports cards, it's so like seasonal that I mean, there's a point where your cards are gonna go down in value each year.
No matter
But
what.
yeah,
No matter
no,
what, it stocks down.
for sure. No, I agree with that comment. It's kind of like what we've been saying, right? Like
Yeah.
my whole philosophy right now is like when I zoom out, it's like, why am I really doing this? It's so I can leave videos for my great grandchildren, so they know who their family was and what their culture is and values that we upheld and so on, and just hobbies that we did in general, right? And um, but yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see in not even 10 years, bro, like 2 years or a year from now, it's gonna be cool to look back and see, who's still like, just pursuing what they set out to do.
Yeah. And also just to see like, hey, did we change? Did my goals change? Have I changed as a person? Eric, I used to go about an hour. We're a little bit over that, so I think we're gonna wrap it up. I got a
Okay.
Twitter space to do about mental health and
Oh,
like
bet. Yeah,
at
for
eight
sure.
o'clock.
For sure.
But I want you back.
Cool.
I'm not. I don't want to be mean to my other guests, but everyone has like a podcast or like a card show or like a YouTube channel. I don't have time to watch any of that. Brother, you're the first person on my show where I'm going to be like, I'm going to go watch his stuff. Like, I don't,
Appreciate that, bro.
and like you're making me teary eyed, but like, this has been for me an amazing conversation because I don't know what it is about you, but like you're awesome. I love you.
Appreciate
I
it, bro.
love what you're trying to do. And I just want more of you. So when you start making your content, your TikTok, whatever you are, please throw it out there on Twitter,
For sure, man.
and then or tag me because the algorithm sucks, and
Bro, and then
sometimes
like everyone in the hobby follows like 5,000 people, so it's like everything gets lost.
yeah,
Yeah, I feel you. But no, I love you too, bro. Like this has been great. Can't wait to talk again.
yeah. And I'll give you the last word. What do you want to say to people out there?
Um, I
Tell them where they could follow you on all your stuff too, real quick.
Yeah, so everything is Cash Cultura. So Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, and YouTube. YouTube is probably the one where I'm gonna be posting most of the content. So Cash and it's the & Cultura, culture in Spanish, and you can find content about sports cards, stock market investing. I will talk a little bit more about crypto, a little bit about NFTs, and you'll see some travel videos. But that's it. I mean, ultimately, the what we're doing right now, the hobby, it's really about the community, right? Like,
Yeah,
and you meet a lot of great people, you build a lot of great relationships, and it's at that point, once you build them, it's about like cultivating them, flourishing them, making sure they blossom, and feeding them every day. So make sure you do that. I definitely need to get better at that. But at the end of the day, the money is cool, but the relationships are forever.
yeah.
That's it.
Like we had a mutual friend. I think was it Nate Otten. He was like,
Yeah.
"When is this show? These are two of my favorite people." And I was like, "Well, like I'm not, but okay, it's cool." Like putting myself down. I was like, "Yeah, Cash, he's a cool dude." Now I get it. Now I get why he was like excited. Because like I feel like I don't know, man. Like I'm sorry. I'm just like
That's good, man. That makes me
I
happy.
I'm starstruck. This is kind of how I feel to be with you, to be honest. Like, and I'm not trying to
That's fair.
like be weird, but I am
Nah, it's
weird.
not, bro.
Like, I
I
just feel
appreciate
like,
that, and
oh,
I appreciate
awesome,
you
man.
sharing how you feel, man. And the feeling is mutual. I promise you that, bro.
And my buddy Gerald just said like he wants you back on because, and he wants to be on a show with you because he wants to talk with you. So,
Cool.
maybe once we get down to the future a little bit, we could, come back
Sounds
and
good, Gerald.
we could all talk wrestling and content creation because
Let's do
he's
it.
working on his content creation. He's a he's kind of a heel. He likes to brand himself a heel. Like he's a turd sometimes, but he's got a good heart and he loves. So it's
Cool.
acceptable. But Eric, thank you so much for this
For sure,
show.
man.
If you couldn't tell everyone and Eric, like how happy I am, how happy you've made me. Like I do my enthusiastic, like I got to do my show pump, and then I am happy. But like, I hope you can see, like, I know I have my glasses on, but like, I hope you guys can see like
There they
how
are.
happy I was. You made me cry, emotional roller coaster, and
It's
I
crazy.
just it's awesome. And I know I tell people I'm going to give them the last word, but there's no way. I'm a Kevin Smith fan, and I'm just going to talk, use my hands like he does, and never let anyone else get in. So, Eric, I love you, man. We'll talk
Appreciate you, bro.
soon. And
Yep.
going to play my intro song, and that's going to be the end. You can just dip on out.